Welcome to another episode of Inside Admission at Wilmington College. I'm Danny Harp, Associate Director of Admission. It's the first week in April, and it is time to be making your college decision in regard to where you're going to land this fall. And with me today, I have Bryan Miller. Bryan is one of our graduating seniors here at Wilmington College, and I've brought him in today to talk a little bit about his decision-making process and what led him to Wilmington College. Bryan, thank you so much for joining us today. Really appreciate your help with this. Our audience today, they're getting ready to make a decision, whether it be mom and dad helping their student, the student, trying to figure out this whole college thing. I'm a little curious about your college decision-making process. My first question, how did you even find out about Wilmington College?
Yeah, so I never heard of Wilmington College, honestly, when I was in high school. We had a kid graduate from my high school, would have been my sophomore year, came to Wilmington, and he told me all about it. Being an ag kid, you're kind of limited with your choices in the state of Ohio, so I figured I'd give it a shot and came on campus and just kind of fell in love with the place.
Okay, and then I'm curious, I assume that took place your senior year?
Junior year, actually.
Your junior year,
yeah.
So you got an early start on looking at colleges. All right, and tell us a little bit about once you decided Wilmington was the school you wanted to have into the mix. I assume you scheduled a visit?
Yep, so I actually came on campus the fall of my junior year for I think it was a fall inside look day.
Okay.
What was kind of cool is we parked on the wrong parking lot and walked across campus, and I sat down in the theater before the program day got started. I looked at my mom and said, "This is where I'm coming to school." And she looked at me goofy, and she's like, "Well, you got to visit elsewhere." I was like, "No," I said, "This is where I'm coming." And
wow.
After I met the admission counselors and the faculty and staff on campus, I really fell in love with it. And we ended up scheduling another visit elsewhere and took that visit. It wasn't that it was a poor institution. It was just, I think Wilmington set the bar so high for me.
Wow, I'm really glad to hear that. So I want to back up a little bit. You're talking about a walk from a parking lot to a theater where our admission presentation was made. What in that short period of time gave you the idea that Wilmington was your place to be?
So being from Covington, very small town, small community, very tight-knit, I just felt like that was going to be here. I mean, it's a very small campus, but I still think it's a very beautiful campus, and I think that resonated with me.
So Bryan, when it comes to making a college decision, can you share with the audience what was on your checklist as far as this college needs to have this, this, and this?
Ultimately, number one was affordability. As you and I know, going to college is a big financial investment, and so I wanted to make sure that it was going to be affordable to me and my family. After that, it was being personable, and I felt like I got that at Wilmington College. And then lastly was just having the ability to network. I saw the connections amongst the professors, because ultimately you go to college to get a degree to get a job, and I felt like Wilmington was going to do that for me.
So Bryan, you were looking at short-term as well as long-term things that you really needed to check off on your list. One of those things obviously being, is this college, is this institution going to be able to help me find a job? So Bryan, given your experience here at Wilmington College, not only has there been academics, but I'm sure you've been involved in clubs, organizations. I know you work here in the Office of Admission. Was the investment well worth?
Yeah, I honestly tell my parents every weekend I go home that I have zero regrets about this place. I truly feel I'm getting every dollar I'm paying for it in terms of my experience, the friends I've made, and the networking opportunities as well. I feel like the money I'm paying is being invested right back into me, I feel like.
Okay, very good. And then within your senior year, what was the timeline for you? When did you make your decision to attend Wilmington College? I'm curious.
So my experience was, I feel like, a little bit different than most. I mean, I pretty much, like I said, came on campus and fell in love with it, made another visit elsewhere, and I loved this place so much, I ended up just taking off high school and visiting a few more times just because I enjoyed being on campus, enjoyed meeting with my admission counselor, and just being on campus in general.
Okay.
So my whole senior year, I mean, I was wearing Wilmington College shirts to high school and everything. I mean, I was ready to get here really bad. So
I know from experience with my own children and in talking to students like you, making an early decision has its benefits. You can sit back, kind of enjoy the rest of your senior year. You can enjoy graduation, the open houses, all the things that are associated with that, knowing, hey, I've made my decision, I've made my enrollment deposit, my housing deposit, and just wait for that registration information to roll out. Am I correct in saying that?
Yeah, and what was really cool, I feel like, about not only my experience, but kids I've also talked to here, is my admission counselor not only cared about me and getting me here, but then also checked in on me during my first week of classes, make sure everything was going well, and then has continued to maintain that relationship upon graduation here. And I think that truly separates itself from what I hear from other kids that go to other institutions and whatnot. I mean, I feel like the people here truly do care about your experience.
Truly an advantage to going to a small private college, as far as I'm concerned. Very good. Well, Bryan, I'm so thankful that you took some time out for us today to share your Wilmington College experience with not only me, but with our audience as well. Thank you. And thank you for joining us here on Inside Admission at Wilmington College.